Oh, fuck. Woohoo! What is up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and why do I do this to myself? Seriously, why? It's probably because I get the biggest views and reactions to rants, and so I find myself in many situations where I decide to watch shit. Definitely movies that I can tell going in are gonna be shit. And that's no different. With House Party 5, you should have saw my amazement when I saw online, Googling this franchise, that they made a 5th House Party movie. This one's called Tonight's the Night. Okay, why do they start adding subtitles to these goddamn movies? This came out in 2013. It's directed by Darren Scott. And what do you think this plot is? You have two high school kids who decide when one of their parents goes away for, I think, a funeral, let's throw a house party. And we'll invite everybody, and it's going to be kind of this big last hoorah, because one of them's going to college, and so he's going to go away, and so the other friend's like, oh, I should throw this party. It's our last sort of big thing together, and blah, 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 bullshit. Here, you can see the cheapness. Here, you can tell this must have been direct-to-DVD, or direct-to-video, or direct-to-on-demand, whatever the correct term is nowadays, for movies that don't go to theaters. Let's talk about the actors. Our main character, Chris, is played by Taquan Richmond. Even his friend, Dylan, who's played by Zach Godspeed. Holy shit, does his real name not sound like he should be the biggest supervillain of the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Hell, his real name is a better rap name than his in-character name, Dylan. Just call yourself Godspeed. That's actually kind of badass. So, the two of them, look, I'm not going to say that they're bad actors. I'm not going to say that they are terrible and they couldn't deliver the lines or they couldn't deliver, like, the jokes. I'm not saying that at all. Compared to Immature, these guys are Oscar, Academy Award winning, worthy type actors in comparison to what I just sat through previous. So I will say that they're decent, they're watchable. You could tell that it's more so the lack of material. You could tell that it's just, there weren't great jokes written here. There weren't anything as far as comedy or situational comedy or just easy comedy that should be had. Nothing's really here. It's just your typical, oh, we're going to throw a house party, which you've seen a million times. I mean, in this franchise alone, the House Party franchise, that's what it is. Every single movie, it's pretty much every single time the same thing. Although, at least the ones with kid play, because they were the same characters and they were getting older, so there was always a different reason for the parties. Where when you do new characters, it's always just the same high school kids have a party behind their parents' back. Bullshit. And I would say that plot and that premise is played out. It's tired and it's old and it's just like, maybe you just get to a point where we shouldn't even be doing this anymore because it's so damn tired. Movies like Superbad prove that you can take a very simple and easy premise. On the surface, that's what that movie is too, right? A bunch of high school kids going out to have a party, doing a bunch of fucked up stuff. But they pushed the envelope, right? They pushed like that next level raunchiness, and the humor was next level, the writing was next level. And I don't want to do a complete comparison from this to Superbad, but this is a lot closer in years as far as Superbad to this. Superbad had actors that were capable of elevating material, right? You could put certain actors in the situation, and because you have Jonah Hill, Michael Cera, and even McLovin to a certain extent, they're able to just bring their own improv, bring their own stuff to the table. And you can tell that these actors are not capable of doing that. And so that's where a lot of this suffers. That's why you don't give a shit about any of this friendship of, oh, we want to be rappers. We're trying to get a record deal, of course. And somehow they're able to try to bring a record executive to the party, which I never understood how a high school kid would try to be able to pull that off in the first place. And any dynamic between characters are just lame. And it's generic and it's old hat. Even the characters that they try to do something, it's just like, well, either we've been there, done that. Like, for example, there's a girl that Chris likes. Apparently, he's liked her since the 2nd grade, I guess. You only get that because he says it. There's no real connection, or there's no real emphasis on the characters feeling like they've known each other for that long. This girl named Autumn, who's played by Tristan Mays. The actress is very attractive, don't get me wrong. Wait, she was of age, right? I'm not crossing any lines here. I'm pretty sure a lot of these movies, the actors are older than the actual high school age that they're playing, so I think I'm good. But you just have that tired ass, oh, she has a boyfriend that cheats on her and treats her like crap, but for some reason she's still with him. And I'm not trying to say that that doesn't happen in real life. Of course it does. But when you see it in yet another movie, it's like, okay, I guess this is what we're going to do here. There's even this whole back and forth of like, she knows that he's cheating on her. She calls him out on it. She sees him at the party talking to other girls, sneaking off around the corner with another girl. And she just sits there and goes, well, that's my boyfriend. There's no like, fuck you, you're dumped. There's no sticking up for herself. And I'm like, why am I supposed to care? Especially because there are times when she's talking to Chris, the main character. She's talking to him, she's interacting with him at the party, she's dancing with him, she's having fun with him, and then she goes off with the boyfriend, and then she's dancing with the boyfriend. And I'm like, okay, so is she leading Chris on? Is she just settling for the boyfriend? What's this girl's whole agenda? And then you have another side plot where the next door neighbor, this MILF character, she's an older woman who's recently single, and I guess she's like, oh yeah, this boy Chris, he just turned 18, so I want to fuck him. Like, that's her whole goal throughout this entire movie, is that I want to fuck that kid. And she's chasing him around, and she's trying to have sex with him, and it's this whole back and forth. And there's times when the older woman gets Chris alone, or gets Chris in a corner and is all on top of him. And then the Autumn girl comes in around the corner and sees them, and she gets mad. She gets mad because she's like, oh, so you're gonna go be with her? Okay, fine. And it's like, bitch, you have a boyfriend. What are you getting mad about? If people just talk to each other, there's another tired Hollywood trope. People don't talk to each other. Characters don't talk to each other because we don't know how else to create conflict and drama. Aren't we at the point now, or even when this movie came out in 2013, aren't we at a point where we can go past that? Aren't we at a point where we can be smarter about the drama that we create with our characters? What can I expect from a piece of shit movie like this? The best friend, Dylan, the Godspeed kid. He's a white kid that is a wigger. And I'm not saying that it's the weirdest thing to have this white character be all about hip-hop and rap and want to be a rapper. No, I mean, that's actually kind of cool. But I think there should be a little bit more to that. I think that should be built into his character more, that he's white but likes rap. Like, you could actually do something with it, whether it's people making fun of him for it, or just even a scene where he sits down and says, this is why I identify with hip-hop. This is why I identify with that culture, or why I relate more to it. I don't know, just give me something to where that I feel like I can connect to these characters, or understand them, or care about them, or anything. There's this random side character, this girl named Precocious. I mean, you would think she's a stripper, but no, she's one of the high school kids. And she's a girl who is a little bigger. She's a heavyset girl, and she just gets treated like shit. because she's fat, everyone treats her like shit. I mean, the first scene is the asshole boyfriend of the hot girl. He turns around and Precocious is standing there and he goes, "What the fuck do you want? I don't have anything for you to eat, fat ass." And I'm like, what? This isn't funny. This is just mean, you know. And I'm not the overly sensitive somebody you would find on Twitter complaining about, oh, you need to boycott or cancel or no. I'm not saying that at all. You can make stuff funny. I just felt like that was all her character was just to be there, to be made fun of. She wants to go to the party, and it's this whole thing of them saying like, but she's fat though. Why do we have to bring her? And I'm like, really? Really? She's the only fat girl at the school, or she's the only girl with weight on her that you guys know, and so it's a whole big thing. It's so overplayed. It's so overdone. And then when she gets to the party, no one's talking to her. She's just standing around by herself, and I'm like, oh my God, guys, come on. And she ends up hooking up with this really dorky, and I would say nerdy kid, but that's too nice for him. This kid looks like he's so awkward and so creepy looking. And I know that sounds wrong that I'm making fun of that kid when I was just defending that girl. But this dude honestly looks like he's waiting for the right time to shoot up the house, to shoot up the kids and kill everybody. Like, that's how over the top they played him for being awkward. And of course they hook up. They go into the bathroom upstairs, and I guess they have such a good time that they burst through the ceiling, and then they destroy the house, and it's supposed to be this big, crazy, funny thing, and I just didn't care. I just kind of rolled my eyes like, all right, this happened. Now look, is this movie better than House Party 4? Yeah! That's not saying much. That's not something that you should want a medal for. But because House Party 4 was so bad, and because it played it so safe, also, that was another thing. House Party 4 was so safe and so tame. I will give this movie a little bit more credit that they at least tried. They at least had a moment when characters destroyed the house in some form or fashion. Was it funny? No. Was any of it really funny? Did I laugh at all? There was maybe 2 scenes with the cougar MILF character that, I guess she's not a MILF because she's not a mom. No, she's a cougar. There's a couple scenes with her where she's overly aggressive. I mean, she's damn near trying to sexually assault this kid. Again, whatever. I'm not being that guy, but she goes in slow motion. She's clearly trying to go down on him, and there was something about that almost made me laugh. That's the closest you'll get. And what made me feel old though, because yes, I'm watching these high school kids, because it's 2013, I don't know any of this music. This music sounds some of the most generic techno dubstep shit that I've ever heard. And I remember that 2 months in my life way back when I thought dubstep was cool, and then I instantly woke up and said, well, what the fuck? That was a fever dream. And so this movie clearly lives in a capsule, a bottle of time when I guess that type of music was popular. Because you have this whole DJ off between 2 DJs, which I thought was kind of an interesting idea. 2 DJs who had 2 different ways of DJing. But the problem is that when they were in competition with each other, they both were just playing dubstep music. It didn't sound different. Every song they played all sounded the same. They didn't even play songs by popular artists from this time period, whether or Rihanna or hell, even Kanye West, which I don't want to hear his music anymore, but still, you know what I mean? This music was so, who was this? Who? And the last thing I want to mention is that they had the nerve as a post-credit scene to bring in Kid and Play. Yes, the Kid and Play, the actors, the rappers from the original movies, came back to play the record producers that were going to help these kids make their single. And I guess it was nice to see them back, but I just felt like, guys, you were way better than to not only do a cameo, but you're in the post-credit scene. You're not even in the actual movie. I didn't hate this as much as part 4, but I did not have a good time watching this. I was pretty annoyed. I'm glad it's over, though. I'm glad I can move on. I never have to watch another House Party. Oh, fuck, the remake's coming out. Shit! Well, guys, let me know in the comments below if you were even aware that House Party 5 existed. Have you seen it? What do you think of it? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later.